Today's going to be another long one, and I haven't done this in a while. Let's get to that intro. What's up, Fin fans? It is day 10 of training camp. Also, today the depth chart came out for the first time. We're going to break down the depth chart first. We're going to get into Brian Flores' press conference. Then I got some play-by-plays. Today was a kind of slow day in training camp. It was special teams day, so there was some passing, some plays, but it was mostly special teams day. So it was kind of slow. But yeah, so let's jump right into the depth chart. I got it over here for me, so it'll be over here for you guys. So we look at the offensive depth chart for the first time. Wide receivers, it starts with Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, and Albert Wilson. If Albert Wilson is healthy, obviously he's going to be a top 3. But as of right now, he's not healthy, but I do have an update for you guys. When it comes to play-by-plays, I got an update. Offensive line, let me talk about second stringers. You got Jakeem Grant, Trent Irwin, Isaiah Ford. Then third stringers is Preston Williams, Allen Hurns, Bryce Butler. For me, it's interesting seeing Trent Irwin above Preston Williams and Allen Hurns. And then fourth stringers is Blacknail and Reese Horn. The wide receiver one is going to be hard. It's going to be hard to pick some of the guys to make the team versus not make the team. But that's interesting to me that Trent Irwin is above Preston Williams and Allen Hurns. That's very interesting to me. We'll see. Again, this is the first team depth chart, so it's literally written in pencil. They're going to be changing this sucker around. I bet you this isn't even going to be the starters for Thursday. So don't be surprised if this changes. There's going to be some other things that are going to make me scratch my head. The next being the offensive line. You got Laramie Tunsil, you got Michael Dieter, Kilgore, Jesse Davis, and Jordan Mills. That all seems very, like what we've seen, except for the fact of Jordan Mills at right tackle and Jesse Davis at right guard and Calhoun being the backup. We've been running with ones being Davis at right tackle and Calhoun at right guard. So the fact that they switched that up, I don't know if he's trying to mess with people's heads or trying to, instill some type of competition still and not make Calhoun be, okay with, all right, yeah, I'm a first teamer. I'm cool. I can rest on my laurels. Maybe that's why that's happening, but that's different. Then you got Zach Stirrup, second team left tackle. Left guard is Fuller. Reed is center. Again, Calhoun, right guard, and Will Holden. We've seen that happen in camp. We've also seen the switch for Reed and Fuller, switching positions. We've seen that happen. And then third stringers is Smith, Dunn, Adams, Monteiro, and Isaiah Prince. Isaiah Prince is a third string right tackle at this point. We expected he's a late round pick. He will, thrive. And then you have Neto as the fourth string right guard. Again, he's a camp and a roster exemption, so he'll make the team. But yeah, he is down there. Let's talk about tight ends. I'm gonna get to quarterbacks. Don't worry, I'll get to quarterbacks, but we'll talk about that. The tight ends, we got so. If you guys remember last year when Frank Gore was on the team, there was him and Drake, it literally was split. It was 1A, 1B, if you guys remember. It was a dual back set. Tight ends, 3 starters. Kaziki, O'Leary, and Smythe are the 3 starters. And then you got Clive Walford. Dwayne Allen is a third stringer just because he hasn't been able to practice fully because of his injury, and Chris Mayrick. But yeah, Kaziki, O'Leary, and Smythe are one. It's literally in the other depth charts, it's like sideways, and it says Gizicki or O'Leary or Smythe, so they're all considered first stringers, but O'Leary's the first stringer. O'Leary's above all the 2 of them. He really is. Then you got quarterbacks: Fitz, Rosen, Ruddick. We saw it coming. And then running backs, it's that same thing I was telling you about, where you have Drake Balazs, 1A, 1B, or just split the ones. That's why the whole competition with them isn't really a competition. They're going to get 50-50 splits. They have different aspects and different attributes that one, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Walton, second stringer, and technically third. Laird, third. Miles Gaskin, fourth. And then Farrow, fifth. And then you have Cox, sixth. But Cox is the fullback, so they don't have a fullback on this depth chart. So there's that. And then we go to defense. So your starting defensive line is Harris, Wilkins, Gottschall, and Carradine. There's some things about this one too that makes me scratch my head. The fact that Hendricks is fourth string when Hendricks has been killing it. Again, he did go up against a Laramie Tunsil, and he did every time someone goes against Laramie Tunsil, they get manhandled. But yeah, fourth string is he's down there. But again, take this with a grain of salt or sand or wherever you want to take it. This is the first preseason game. Then second stringers, you got Orchard, Spence, Taylor, and Woodard. Kind of see that happening, especially with those four defensive tackles is going to be huge rotation. Third stringers is Holmes, Mabu, Washington, and Ledbetter. And fourth stringers is Hendricks, Pittman, Thomas, and nobody. And then you got your fifth stringer of Neto, who's doing both sides. Whichever one he can succeed at, he will take over. Linebackers, Baker, McMillan, Kiko Alonso. Yeah, we saw that. But this is for a 3-4 defense. I mean a 4-3 defense. For 3-4 or whatever hybrid this man is running, because again, we have no idea. It might look different. Then we got Ginkle, Watson, Guavin. They have him at outside linebacker, but he's been above McMillan and middle linebacker. So I think, again, they're doing it like this, but Guavin is ahead of McMillan as of right now, and he's playing middle linebacker because he's ahead of McMillan. Then you got third stringers is Balling, Allen, and Hanks, and then DeLuca, the new guy, is a fourth stringer. Then you got corners, Xavier Howard, Eric Rowe. And then you got Needham, fifth string, but Needham has been taking over for Eric Rowe. That's what I'm talking about. Makes you scratch your head. But Howard, Rowe, the second stringers is Wiltz, Armstrong, McTire, Davis, Patman, Lemons, Needham, and the new guy, Rivers. That's the only thing that I'm like, what? Because Needham has been taking over for Rowe. But again, this is the depth chart on their official site. Doesn't show the slot corner, which also it doesn't show. Got Rashad Jones and Bobby McKean is officially listed at safety. TJ McDonald and Mika behind. Again, Mika is probably the slot corner. Walt Aikens, Morris Smith, and Monte Hardage as the fourth stringers. And special teams, you got Sanders as the kicker, Hack is the punter and holder. Long snapper is Denny. He's not going anywhere. He's going to retire it off. And kick returners, Jakeem Grant, Kenny Stills, Isaiah Ford, Miles Gaskin. Jakeem Grant is out there, which, come on, he's the best kick returner we got. And punt returner, Jakeem Grant, Kenny Stills as a punt returner. It's interesting. Kenyan Drake, Irwin, and Isaiah Ford. What I think of this depth chart, I think it's just for now, and I don't think I'm going to look too far into it because there's a lot of people who are practicing with first teamers. There's a lot of people who are doing better than others that aren't that high on the depth chart, actually on the bottom of the depth chart. That's why I take it. Grain of salt. Let's get to Brian Flores' press conference. So to start it off, this is what Brian Flores had said on the philosophy of building the Miami Dolphins. O-line and D-line, it starts up front. We want to be tough, physical team. That's where it starts. I've preached it. He's preached it. Everyone who knows anything about football has preached it. You got to build the trenches. The trenches is where you go. Stop the run. You get after the quarterback, or you open up for the run. Leads to play action. It's a given. It's a given. He says Rashad Jones will be back as soon as he can be back. Won't commit to week one. He's doing everything possible to get back. I have an injury update on Rashad Jones. I will talk about that later in the video during play-by-plays, but it's not as serious as people are making it out to be. Again, I will talk about it seriously. Rashad Jones played through it a couple days. He's just resting now. He's a tough player. Been that way for a long time. Again, not that big of a deal. His injury is not that big of a deal. Like I said, even he said he's been played through the injury, just like he played through the labrum tear in his shoulder. He's played through so much for this team. He's given so much to this team. He has not quit on this team. Moving on. On the coordinators calling plays for the first time, he says both have called in preseason games previously, but he's excited for him. He's excited for them to finally be coordinators and be on the sidelines and do their thing. Again, he is not calling plays on offense or defense. He's going to be the head coach. Thank you. On the penalties, he says it starts with me. We got to clean up the operations. He's very upset about it. He knows how much that will kill a game and how much we will struggle in a game if we don't get that shit under control. He says it's early, but we've got an opportunity to right the wrongs. It's hard to win in the league if you don't. When he talks about the penalties, again, it was the first scrimmage. It was the first big thing. I'm not too worried about it. People think the TNT wall is a waste. I don't think so. I think, it happens. Let it happen in practice so we can learn from it. He says he thinks Jordan is a guy that can start all of the games in this league. He's talking about Jordan Mills there, and he's a veteran. He's done it before. He could start all the games. I think that's maybe why he has him at right tackle, starting right tackle. I don't know. Whatever best offensive line's out there, please put him out there. He talks about Rosen. He says, I've seen a lot of improvement from a lot of guys here. He's one of them, but he's still got a long way to go. But by no means are we anointing him or crowning him the starter. That goes without saying. It's his second year. A lot of people want to be like, he sucks. I'm done with him. Get him out of here. Look, he was handicapped on the Cardinals. He had so many different offense coordinators, and it's his second year. Give the guy a chance. I'm not saying, force him to be the starter because, again, I already talked about that, and that wouldn't be smart. But give the guy a chance. He talks about building a leader. It's earned on the practice field, meeting room, weight room, and the locker room. He says it's earned in places you don't see it. So it's not those rah-rah guys who are yelling at people like, come on, we got to do this, da-da-da. That's not where a leader's earned. Leader's earned by example. Yes, you can mentor, and yes, you can lead, but you need to lead by example. Talks about John Denny, our MVP of the team. No one is better in shape than him. He speaks, and people listen. John Denny, baby. He says he doesn't think there's anything about Josh Rosen that is holding him back in the learning process. I don't think so either. Again, it's a learning process. He says we got a lot of packages, different defense and offensive packages. Get the best 11 out there, and that's all that matters, and they will play. So that's what Flores had to say. He touched on some, the Rashad Jones injury, which wasn't much. Talked about, Josh Rosen competitions, all that stuff. It's good stuff. Now, for today at practice, there was no contact. Small pads, kind of shells, helmets, shorts, no practice. Tankersley, Hull, Rowe, which is surprising. Rashad Jones, Stirrup, Grant, Woodard, Allen, Chase Allen, that is, and Jawan James aren't practicing today. I know. I messed up last video because I said Jawan James instead of Rashad Jones. I don't know why my brain did that, but I thought I'd throw that in there for you guys. Parker wearing a sleeve on his right leg, as well as Wolford. Parker, come on. You having a great training camp and a great OTA and great. Parker, come on. Dieter and Calhoun and Davis are with the starters again. That's why I like that depth chart. Take it with whatever you want. Fitz, McCain with the starting safeties. Wiltz in the nickel. So Fitz is going back to safety with Rashad Jones not being in there. I need him on the boundary. Again, Eric Rowe wasn't at practice today. O'Leary and Smythe in the 2 tight end sets. So it kind of gives you an idea. Like 2 tight end set is normally where you want to run out of, maybe play action out of. And Gesicki's not in it because he's not great at run blocking. So gives you a thought about that. Real quick, Isaiah Ford catches a 30-yard pass from Fitz. So while things are going on, they're just throwing passes and stuff. 30-yard pass. Wilson running. So this is what I want to talk about. Albert Wilson injury update. Wilson's running and cutting and doing stop-and-go runs. So essentially he's doing cuts and stuff, planting foot, and then he'll run and he'll stop. He'll plant his feet and stop, and then he'll run and then he'll plant his feet and stop. During the beginning of camp and during the beginning of him working, he looked really stiff and really slow. He's looking better. He's looking faster. Again, very great signs. The fact that he's on the depth chart is also a very great sign. Mark Walton goes inside for some unknown injury, then he comes back out. So I think he's all right. Not hearing anything bad about him. There was a nice screen to Kenyan Drake. Got a great block and took it off. He's the best offensive weapon we have on this team. I think it. So does Omar Kelly, who wrote the tweet that I read it. Kenyan Drake is dangerous. He's super dangerous. And Jones comes out and he's walking. He's got his boot on. Again, it's not a cast. It's a boot. Comes walking out with his boot on. He's walking fine on the sideline. People think it's turf toe, which, again, isn't season ending. It also isn't, halfway through the season, you're out. Like I said yesterday in the live stream, if you guys didn't check it, I honestly think worst case scenario, he doesn't play against the Ravens. Best case scenario, he plays against the Ravens. That's how I see it. I don't see him missing week 2. I also didn't really think he would play preseason because he doesn't need to play preseason. Ford working in the slot with the first team today. Rosen with a deep touchdown pass to Kenny Stills on 7-on-7, but it goes right through Kenny Stills' hands. I'm getting a flashback of that Seattle game. Then there was a nice run after catch from Kenyan Drake. It would have been a score. Baker gets slow to get up. He's walking gingerly, kind of his lower body. He goes to the locker room. He eventually does come out. So, again, nothing to be worried about because Baker's been killing it in training camp. A lot of people think it's a groin injury. So, again, not a serious injury, nothing to worry about, but they think it's a groin injury. He came back out to the sideline. He's walking on his own. He walked on his own. Nothing to really freak you out about. Just want to let you guys know. Gesicki with a beautiful catch from Fitzpatrick. He's a good catching tight end. You got to work on the physicality of football. McCain with a sack on Fitz on a blitz. Fitz didn't even have a chance to throw the ball. Niederman was right behind him too. And then I have this video here. Bam! With Preston Williams with a beautiful touchdown catch from Josh Rosen. He beats Hardage in the coverage. I'm gonna let that play for a bit and just see how beautiful that catch was. It's just beauteous. I'm gonna slide back over. And then Baker, like I said, Baker's back on the sideline. Fitz to Parker for a 50-yard touchdown pass. Wiltz was lost in the coverage. These second team corners are killing me here. Williams with another catch from Fitz. Wait, did I just say Preston Williams with a nice catch from Fitz? That must mean that Preston Williams was running with the ones, baby. But he wasn't going up against Xavier Howard. I'm going to bang on the table for this. I want to see Preston Williams go one-on-one with Xavier Howard. And I want to see if he can catch some touchdowns and make some really great catches. Because then if he can, because I know Xavier Howard said in a press conference, he praised him. But if he can do that, then we got the real deal here. Rosen with a pass to O'Leary. It was too high. But then right after that, 2 straight passes to O'Leary down the seam. McTire pass break up on 3rd and 1 from Rosen. But then Sanders comes out. He's like, I got you guys. And he kicks a 54-yard field goal. This dude's got a leg. And then the final play is Fitz to Smythe for a touchdown. Defense was in prevent, but they obviously didn't prevent anything because there was a touchdown. So my top 3 performers today, Preston Williams. He keeps killing it, but again, I want to see him go against Xavier Howard. I want to see him take on the best that we have. Kenyan Drake was very explosive, very dangerous today. I'm going to give the other one to Isaiah Ford. And I'm going to give it to Josh Rosen. How about that for all you guys? Josh Rosen too, because he did very well today. But those are my top 3, maybe 4. How about that? Be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the depth chart. I want to know what you guys' thoughts on the depth chart are. Let me know what you guys think of what Brian Flores had to say. What do you guys think of the fact of the camp today? And are you worried about Parker? Are you worried about Parker? Yes. Are you worried about Baker? Are you worried about Mark Walton? What is your thought process? Be sure to comment below, and we'll get to one of you guys' comments of the day. And this one comes from Brandon Cole, and he says to me, of the videos, can you tell us more about the wide receivers? Williams, Hearns, Parker, Still, Grant, Wilson. Which wide receiver are going to have to give up on the team that could go to another and start? Love this question because we have great depth at wide receiver. Yesterday, I said one of our best positions is safety, which it is in my mind because we got some all-star safeties, but the wide receiver has the best depth. I think some of the odd men out is probably going to be Bryce Butler, Isaiah Ford, maybe even Allen Hearns. It's between Allen Hearns and Preston Williams who gets that 5th wide receiver spot. Also, I don't know how many wide receivers the Dolphins are going to carry, but I think like Isaiah Ford and Bryce Butler kind of seem like they're the odd men out. And then, like I said, between Preston Williams and Allen Hurns, maybe even Allen Hurns might be the odd man out if Preston Williams keeps killing it. But we'll see Thursday. Thursday's the first preseason game. Again, I'm going live Thursday. One of you guys said you sent me a package, so when I get that package at my P.O. Box below, again, you can send me letters. You don't have to send me things. And if you want me to read or open your packages on the video instead of comment of the day, I will. When you guys send me a package, so when I get that, I will open that on video. But Thursday, I will be going live for the first preseason game against the Atlanta Falcons. Game starts at 7:30. I'm going live at 7:15. It's going to be great fun. You get to see all these guys go up against other talent and see what we actually have in these players. Super excited. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm tweeting out a ton of things, especially when I'm doing my news and notes on Twitter. I retweet things that I think are important that I'm not only going to talk about, but you should see. So I retweet that stuff. So be sure to follow me on Twitter. I also got my Instagram there. I'm working on the Discord. Trust me, I'm working on the Discord, and then I will start telling you guys how to join the Discord. Be sure to check out the Bit Boys. Today, I put out the Avengers game. Tomorrow is going to be the quarterback franchise video for Madden, the first video on that. So be sure to go check that out. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. A lot of you guys have been subscribing, which makes me very happy. But again, if you don't like what you see, don't feel like you need to subscribe to appease me. That is A-okay with me. Give this video a thumbs up. Literally, we have 2 days, tomorrow and Wednesday, training camp. And then we get the first preseason game. We get Dolphins football, guys. Give this video a thumbs up for that alone. Also, give this video a thumbs up because you enjoy what you see. Helps me know, all right, keep doing what you're doing. Because I haven't made one of these videos with the intro and everything in a long time. I kind of want to, go straight from the phone. I like going live. Live stuff is fun for me, but I wanted to do this because I saw that there was a video for the play. And if there's videos for the plays, I will put them in my videos. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching this on DolphinsTalk.com, how are you doing? If you haven't checked out DolphinsTalk.com, be sure to check them out. Great Dolphin content on there. Also, if you haven't yet, if that subscribe button is red, give it a little click and hit and subscribe to the channel. If you like what you see, if you're into this stuff, if you like football, if you like the Miami Dolphins, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot planned for the season. I got a lot planned for preseason. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is the next day of training camp. I think this one starts at 9:40. So this video might come out a little earlier. I record it and then I have to edit it, so it takes a little bit longer. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow with the next training camp, day 11. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.